My video for March the 4th, 2018 is entitled, When the Priority is Monetary Wealth. The great deception, as I said in a recent video, is that slaves can ever be freed by simply giving them money. Give a man or woman enough money, and most can be easily seduced into doing things they would not do freely. We live in a prostitute society run by deceivers who have sold out for mere trinkets. And those with the most trinkets, we call money, paper, or something tangible, sit at the top of the pyramid of control. They are the slave masters in our world. Yes, they use religion and politics to keep their game going. It's been going on, as I keep saying, for millennia. Of course, when we have nothing to compare it to, it's virtually impossible to come up with alternatives. Everyone, including myself, has been deceived. If I knew how to extricate myself and others, I would not hesitate. But frankly, I no longer try to convince myself that I know. Beyond actually loving ourselves and each other equally, there does not seem to be a way out. Yet how can we love even our own self when our helplessness seems ingrained? This has been a rough year for me so far, as I've said in other videos. Every video that I make is more of a challenge, because I'm realizing how much I personally have bought into a lot of deception. Some people say, and I've had people send me this, that 3D, 4D reality, in other words, the reality that we inhabit, is all an illusion. None of it has ever been real, but we are entrapped in it nevertheless. And the only way out is to die and go to some 5D or greater reality where the deception is no longer valid. And people say we have to go into the darkness. Don't go into the light, because the light is a deception. The darkness is where the truth is. And of course, they get that from Moses drew near the thick darkness where God was. Well, if the thick darkness is actually our own ignorance and not knowing, then I would understand that it's in that thick darkness of unknowing that we're going to find the truth. What is plainly visible is obviously a deception. And we live in a world of deceivers. The government is the most criminally oriented operation in the whole world. And not just in the United States, but around the world. Governments are mind control institutions. And they control us by using money. Remember the story, and I told it in another video, that initially they had all these slaves to do the labor, and they had a whole bunch of guards there to make sure the slaves stayed in order, and the slaves all wore chains and were shackled and forced to do their labor. And one of the slave masters, actually the head guy, decided to pose as a slave to see what the slaves were actually thinking. And he found out that a mutiny was being planned. And he figured out how to stop the mutiny. So after he went back to his normal position, no longer pretending to be one of the slaves, he announced that the shackles were going to be removed, and now he was going to pay the slaves for doing the same thing that they were doing before. But now there would be no shackles, and even the guards came and joined in, helping with the work so that they could get the money. Money is a slavery system. I know there are those that are saying that there's going to be a currency revaluation, And the money is going to be backed by gold, silver, and precious metals. I invested $60 into the RV thing. And what would happen? The idea was that you put the money in the hands of decent people and everything's going to be okay. I question that. It might be okay for a little while, but people will forget and think that money is the value. They will forget that love is the only true value. Working together in cooperation rather than competition is the only true value. The fruits of the Spirit are the only true value. And yes, I get frustrated because all my life I have wanted to do the right thing. And I've felt like I served God. And when I was going to die, they were trying to see if I I was confident that I was going to live because the operation was so threatening. But I knew I was going to live because my mission wasn't finished yet. And it's still not. I still want to see not the 3D, 4D world eliminated. I want to see it raised. I want to see the gifts, powers, and abilities that Anastasia demonstrated in those books by Vladimir Megra and translated into English so that we could understand what the Russians said, what it was written in Russian, that is. We could understand that and we could be uplifted. My whole thing is to be truly wealthy beyond any monetary system, beyond any religion, beyond any political establishment, no mind control government. What's it going to take, folks? What's it going to take? I'm tired. I keep telling people that. I keep saying it. I'm tired. I struggle because I want to be able to point in a direction that will help. And how can we start loving one another when we've been fed lies, and lies produce fear, and fear binds us into shackles that are invisible and yet seemingly not removable? How can they be removed? Who will do that if not the ultimate creator? And why would the ultimate creator not step in? I get people trying to tell me that, again, that 5D and higher dimensions are the true reality. And we go into the dark, and that will liberate us from this whole mess that we've been caught in and trapped in. Is that the truth? I don't know. All I know is that I make these because I love having hope and hanging on to something that I believe will ultimately work. But I know that it won't work without some level of divine intervention and some removal of the powers, the political powers that have put themselves in place, the demonic powers that have ruled our world far, far too long. I hope that the things that I'm sharing have meaning for some of you. And thank you again for listening. Namaste.